episode 2 of For the Record podcast. I'm Sarah Snyder, and today I have some guests joining me. You guys want to... Okay. So I have Chad Miller and Joseph Murphy, a.k.a. Joey Bags, and Jay with me. Please don't make this weird for me.
No, we're not going to make it weird.
Make something weird?
What are you talking about? We're fine.
Okay.
We're good. We're good podcasters.
So today on this podcast, we're going to be talking about some new music that's come out recently, mainly Kanye's new album, Jesus is King. We're going to be kind of like giving our opinions and reviews of it and
talking shop.
Just, shooting the shit or whatever, I guess.
Is cursing allowed on this platform?
I'm going to make it allowed.
You're going to make it allowed?
I don't know.
I like that decision.
Whatever I say goes.
I like that
at
shit.
This point.
You know what I don't like, though? The new album.
What?
So let's talk about it. So you guys all listened to the album, right?
Yeah, we all two of us listened to this album.
Okay, yeah, everyone here in this room.
The whole crowd.
Okay, cool.
You got us all on board.
Personally, I didn't think it was bad as I thought it was going to be, but I mean, I don't really like Kanye anymore.
Kanye's a lyrical genius.
So I tried to listen to it with like an unbiased, like objective perspective of just like the music, because obviously I don't like Kanye's political affiliation and I don't like some of the things he said in previous interviews, but I tried to put that aside and just listen to it objectively as an album. What do you guys think?
All right, well, how do I feel about this whole situation? I mean, I definitely think that there's a lot to be said in terms of just Kanye objectively. I mean...
being insane.
Exactly. He literally is insane. He does have some sort of mental disorder going on.
he said that he has bipolar disorder. Yeah. So let's not, like...
No, that's what I'm saying. So I think that has to be...
He was addicted to opioids at one point. May still be addicted to them. Yeah,
I did not know that, actually.
Yeah, okay.
I'm honestly really digging the just insanity of Kanye lately.
No,
I don't know why. Like,
the thing
just
is,
him going off the chain, it just cracks me up.
All right, so the reason he put out this whole gospel album in the first place, in my opinion, is because he's trying to do PR for the things that he said in previous interviews regarding slavery and whatnot. Yeah. So I think this is all just, he's trying to cover up. And also, it's preparation for his Christmas album that he's coming out with.
He's putting out a Christmas album?
Well, he's putting out another album called Jesus is Born on Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
This man's gone full born again Christian.
I don't know if is now December 13th. That's when Harry Styles' new album comes out. So December 13th is officially Christmas
comes a little
now.
early this year.
And that's also Taylor Swift's birthday, so that's like a big like middle finger to Taylor Swift.
13th?
Because if you guys didn't know, Harry Styles is one of Taylor's exes.
One
so
of her
that's
many myriad of exes.
That's a side tangent.
So she have a song about him.
But let's get back on topic. I think there is. I'm not really sure. I'm not a Taylor stan. Couldn't tell you.
You're not a Taylor stan?
Kyle Hoover, if you're listening to this, please let us know.
I'm sure he does know. So shout out to Kyle. We love you. But anyway, back on topic. I definitely agree with your point, Joe, that it definitely is like damage control, like PR kind of thing. I feel like he's trying to regain like his fan base of people of color, like people who like felt that his music really resonated with him for the longest time, and then when he said, you know, that whole thing of slavery is a choice, like that really broke off a lot of his fan base. I mean, it made a lot of his fans like distrust him.
They were really upset with that.
Very upset with him.
I mean, for obvious reason. Yeah. You know, it obviously is not a choice. So it's like just illogical for anyone to say that, especially a black man to say that, and to side with Trump given all of his antics and
affiliations,
whatever.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
So just going back to the music for a quick sec. When I listened to the first track of the album, I thought that it was going to be like when Kanye put out that single "Lift Yourself," and then the entire thing was just the scoop diddy whoop thing. I'm not sure if y'all remember that, but he was like, "I'm about to go in," and then he just did the scoop diddy whoop diddy scoop, scoop diddy whoop diddy whoop.
We
All right.
So
I thought that this album, listening to it for the first time, I thought that the entire thing was just going to be a joke, and like everything that he was talking about it, gospel, and it was going to be this great gospel album. I thought that he was pranking all of us because Kanye's been known to do this, but
like,
it wasn't.
Very
it was
serious.
Yeah,
like, he recites like Bible lyrics and lyrics, Bible
verses of the Bible.
I'm sorry, I'm not religious. I don't know these things.
It's fine. I'll make up for you.
Okay.
Just kidding. I'm not.
But I mean, I didn't hate the album, regardless of my religious viewpoints and opinion of Kanye. I didn't hate the album. I actually did really like the song "Follow God." Like, I thought it actually had a really good beat and
what track
sounded
is that? That's like
a
track
lot.
3, right? Or 4? What was it?
3. Track
3.
3.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was like, that one. I remember being once we got to like track 3. I was like, ooh.
It sounded a lot like his older music. Like, it was very reminiscent of that.
I like the second track. What's it? Sela? Sela?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I like that one.
I also really enjoyed Kenny G's feature on Use This Gospel.
Which was like so random. But
yeah, it was really random, but it kind of worked. Like, he popped off. Like, he really went off on that
Kenny
track.
G just really went with the smooth jazz.
Yeah,
Dude, it was really nice of Kanye to give an upcoming artist like that a feature, you know? Look at Post Malone.
Man, who is this Ozzy Osbourne
Post Malone
guy?
featuring Ozzy Osbourne, getting some really good underground artists on the track.
Okay.
All right, let's get back on track. So yeah, overall, I mean, I didn't hate the album, but again, it seems like it's all a PR stunt. And I know he's been doing like the Sunday service, whatever, like video get together things that he's been doing like throughout the year, and he did one at Coachella and has just been like inviting major celebrities to kind of like promote this album. It just seems very inauthentic considering his previous statements, and whether they were like opioid induced statements or not.
George Bush doesn't care
about black people. Mike Myers just sighs.
He still said those things, and he's still accountable for what he said, regardless if he's like saved by religion now or whatever.
Of course.
Trying
to. Who? Chris?
I forget who was after that, but
he's in the Rush Hour movies with Jackie Chan.
Tucker, right? Chris Tucker.
Yeah, Chris Tucker.
What are you guys saying?
We're talking about when Kanye goes, George Bush doesn't care about black people in the Hurricane Katrina relief video.
I know. Yeah. Okay. But it got off topic. Okay.
Folks.
I mean, do you guys have anything else to say about the album musically?
Actually, yeah.
About Kanye?
I don't like the mixing on the album.
I was going to say that his vocals
the vocals are washed
trash.
out. The vocals are completely washed out by the instrumentals.
Yes. And it sounds like...
I enjoy the instrumentals, though.
The instrumentals are good, yes. The instrumentals are good. The beats are good.
The verses are
when his vocals come in, it sounds like it was literally recorded on like an iPhone 7. I'm not even kidding.
No,
like,
literally.
It sounds like it was recorded on an iPhone 7, and someone like me, like who knows jack shit about Logic, just fucking threw that clip in there and was like, here you go. Yeah, here it is. No, like equalize, like didn't mix it at all. Just kind of like recorded it.
Is that the aesthetic he was going for?
I don't know. Like maybe he did it on purpose. But
exactly. Like considering the fact that Kanye's a producer first and foremost, he was a producer before he was an artist.
Right.
So
it
like,
seems
what are you
weird
doing?
That he wouldn't mix it.
We're far away from Stronger right now. Is what you're saying.
We could take this moment to hear a moment from our sponsor.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, Joe. So let's take a pause for a moment and here to have a little ad break.
Shout out to Anchor.
Shout out Anchor. We're back.
All right, and we are back. So we actually just watched a quick little YouTube video that was posted a couple days ago. Kanye did another Sunday service live in Baton Rouge, where they covered Jesus Walks.
Covered it.
I mean, it was a cover of like the choir doing it.
Was it the choir? I don't know.
It was like a remix, basically.
Yeah.
It was like,
I didn't know if he was using the actual thing.
Size. I mean, there is like the gospel aspect of Jesus Walks, but like.
Mm-hmm. No, I didn't know if he was using like. Yeah, that's what I was wondering if it was a live gospel choir.
I think it was.
Yeah, it's just very
very
interesting.
Oh yeah.
The turn of Kanye's music from like the college dropout to now.
I mean, the thing is, if you look at Kanye through, I've done this whole, I did this whole project on Kanye West and his roller coaster that that we've been in, our generation has been on.
It's been a lot.
Like my parents personally have not liked Kanye West since he did the thing where he interrupted Taylor Swift at the VMAs.
Well,
I know, and
I mean, he shouldn't have done it.
He shouldn't.
But Beyonce should have won Album of the Year. So
all right,
that's a whole other topic.
All right. Moving on from that.
With Kanye now?
No. Moving on from that. I don't know how my parents feel about Kanye because I haven't asked them recently. But me personally, I think that I liked Kanye better, the old Kanye. I miss the old Kanye. Like he says in his song,
Kanye. Let's take that new Kanye. I miss the old Kanye.
I miss the old Kanye, man. And like his new stuff is good. Like for a gospel album.
Yeah,
this album is good.
It's probably the most popular
gospel album.
The most popular Christian music ever released. Like probably
besides like Chance's most recent album. I mean, his album wasn't totally a gospel album, but there were gospel
I didn't even
songs.
listen to that.
It wasn't a gospel.
It wasn't a gospel album, but there were gospel.
It was a wife
songs
album.
Okay.
It was. I love my wife.
I love my wife.
And
dude.
what of it? He loves his wife.
Yes.
Good for him.
That's
why he married her.
Chance and Kanye knowing that they had the 2 worst albums of the year.
Oh,
hey, look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Hey, look at us.
Who would have thought?
Nah, me.
All right. Well, I think that's like really all we have to say about Kanye.
I mean,
there's not much else to say.
Oh wait, I have one more thing. I just thoroughly have been enjoying Kanye's just insanity for the last couple years. It's been so much fun to watch. So that's why when he put this album out, like I heard he was gonna do a gospel album. I was like, yes, please. What else? Like you think, like what can Kanye do now to top himself? Like what can be crazier? Putting out a gospel album.
Kanye has always been an innovator. He's always been an innovator.
I mean, some of the lyrics even on the album, he says in the album
Close
like
on Sunday.
You're like a hypocrite. Like all these people are hypocrites, and it's like he's kind of a hypocrite himself for saying slavery is a choice and then creating a gospel album. I don't know. It just really doesn't
rubs you the wrong way.
Add up to me.
He's going off the walls, man.
And a lot of the stuff he said.
Get him back on his meds.
It's just like, yeah, I don't know. The lyrics just don't resonate with me personally, but that's my opinion, and everyone's allowed to have their own opinion. So,
unless you're Kanye, you can't have it. Kanye's can't release another album.
Okay.
But he's going to.
Anyway, let's talk about some other new music that's been released. Okay.
On Jesus is Born. Stay tuned.
No, the other new music we got coming out.
So Rex Orange County just put out an album called Pony. Chad doesn't really know much Rex Orange County, but Joe.
I fucks with the Rex's first shit. I heard that album like a year ago, and that was like insane.
Yeah.
But then I haven't heard anything else he's put out.
Was that Apricot Princess, or was that his second album?
I forget.
Yeah,
my friend
Apricot Princess. Apricot Princess is his only album. Everything else was like EPs.
So I guess that one.
Yeah, it is.
No,
yes. Yes. Okay, yeah, so Rex has a couple past albums he's put out. But he just released this album, Pony. He released a few singles before the actual album. What were the singles? 10 out of 10, Pluto Projector, and Face to Face. Those were the singles from the album.
And also, was it New House? New Home? That wasn't on the album,
New
though.
House was released as a single, but it wasn't on the album.
But honestly,
I do like that song a lot.
I like that song a lot, too, yeah.
Yeah.
I also like that. I don't know.
I really like Rex, and I'm conflicted because like I hate the fact that he's becoming mainstream now, but like I'm happy for him because I know he's like finally getting the recognition that he deserves.
Honestly, I think Rex feels the same way because Sarah and I went to see Rex. What was it, like a year ago or something?
It was last summer. It was last August. Summer. And where did we see him at? It was at
Union Transfer.
Yeah, it was at the Union Transfer. And their like max capacity, I think it's like
it was sold out.
5,000 people maybe.
And it was a sold out.
Very low number. Yeah, and it was a sold out show. I think. Did he add a second date to that tour?
Not for that tour, but for this upcoming tour, he did add a second date, and the first show already sold out at the Fillmore.
Well, I was saying it's at the Fillmore, which is a much bigger venue.
Yeah.
So that just kind of shows that within a year, even he's blown up like exponentially. but I'm really like I'm loving this new album. It's different than the other stuff he's released, but it's
Still sounds like Rex
still
sonically.
reminiscent of
Yeah.
it, and he's just honestly a great singer-songwriter. And he puts a lot of heart and like passion into his songs. You can tell they're just
They're all very authentic.
very authentic. They're very real and honest. Honestly, like I love the song "Never Had the Balls."
Never had the balls. I was
It's
just gonna
it's
reference
so
it.
real. Like it's like just talking
Like,
about
what
his
other
fear.
artist?
Yeah, you know.
Besides Kanye, would put out a song called "Never Had the Balls."
Yeah, it's I feel like it's just very telling of his character, and I feel like it's just so cool to see someone our age. I mean, it's cool, but it's also like a little disheartening to see someone our age blowing up like that, like doing all these big things, like touring
What
the
about
world.
like Billie Eilish is younger
Well,
than us?
yeah,
so,
I
like,
know.
that
Billie
doesn't-
Eilish. I was gonna reference her and say that. Yeah, it's just it's inspiring, but it's also like it's like, damn, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah, but I think a lot of these young artists and their success. What I was gonna say about that show that we saw, he looked kind of, I don't know how to put it, but I mean, he didn't really look that into it. Like he didn't really
Yeah.
seem that proud of himself that he was getting all of this attention. It felt like the way that he was doing the show, it felt kind of like a chore.
Well, I feel like he talks about that on this new album too, about how this not overnight fame, obviously, because no one becomes famous overnight. It's a gradual process, but
Tyler the Creator definitely helped him.
Tyler the Creator, him being featured on Boredom definitely helped Rex get his name out there
sure.
to a different fan
I
base
feel like
for
I knew
sure.
Rex before that though.
Yeah, you probably did.
Yeah.
He had a couple of good big songs. Best Friend, you probably heard.
Oh,
of.
yeah, of course. I
Yeah,
know
Love
Best-
It
yeah, I
Is
know that one.
Easy.
Love
Like
It Is Easy.
those
Yeah,
were very
yeah.
popular for their time, which was like 2 years ago. But
For the
Back in
time.
my day.
Yeah.
back in the day.
You used to listen to real music.
Okay, boomer.
All right. Okay, boomers. Let's move on.
How's it going,
but-
boomers? Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you so much,
All
boomers.
right, we're getting off track. Let's rein in. Let's focus. But I feel like Rex was really open about that I mean, his real name is Alex, not Rex. But I feel like he was really open
Rex.
on this
We can
album
call him
about
Rex.
about how he kind of struggled with the fame and his personal life with his mental health and being in the spotlight like that. So when we did see him, it did appear that he wasn't the happiest. Obviously, he still put on an amazing show, and it was really awesome to get to see him live. But you could tell that there was that like light in his eyes kind of missing, like that spark wasn't there.
On some real shit, though, he missed his girlfriend, and I felt bad for him. He did that cover of
He
Alicia Keys.
Did, what song was
No
that?
One. No One.
Yeah.
No
That was good.
one. No
Okay,
one.
thank you,
No
guys.
one.
Demonetized. You're done.
Wow. Great. This
Copyright trolls
is
come
not
for you.
copyrighted. Or
This is
no
not-
copyright infringement.
yeah, that's how you. That's how
I
you.
made
That's
that
how
up.
you.
I made that up just now.
Yeah, that's how you dodge a copyright claim. It's just, oh, by the way, this isn't copyrighted.
Yeah. Anyway. I hate you guys. Okay, I'm gonna have to edit
love
all
you.
of this out. I'm gonna have to edit all of this
No,
out.
this is the good
That's
bits.
why you have us here.
Okay. Is there any other new music that we want to talk about? Oh, Frank
there's
Ocean.
no new music.
Frank Ocean.
Yo, that track that you
guys.
played earlier, I didn't hear any of Frank's new album, but what you just played was insane.
He hasn't put
He
out a
hasn't
new
put out
album
any
yet.
Okay, then whatever
We're
you just
hoping
played.
that he puts out a new album.
Whatever you
Frank,
just played.
wherever you are right now.
Frank, if you're listening to this.
Frank, listen, Frank.
Ocean, I know you're listening to this podcast right now, and I just want to say we're really excited for new music.
I
Can
love
you
a new
please just
Frank
can you please
album.
go on tour? You haven't ever gone on tour. You've
Yes,
done
he
festivals.
has.
No, he's done festivals. I was looking into this the other day. He's never gone on tour. So Frank Ocean, if you're listening to this, please go on tour.
Frank Ocean, if you're listening to
Frank
this
Ocean
for
can do whatever he
for
wants,
me,
but
just,
I would like a tour.
please
from
get back
him.
together with Odd Future. Like I fucked with you so much harder back then.
All right. Well, I really liked Frank's 2 new singles, DHL, and most recently
did
he
you
just
play?
dropped In My Room.
He played In My Room.
When I
In My
in my room, that was cool. I like that.
Very
DHL has, like,
typical
the same
Frank
vibe.
fashion. He doesn't follow any type of verse, chorus, verse
Frank
pattern,
does what
and that's
Frank
why we love
wants.
him because he does
Did
whatever
you-
he wants, and he doesn't follow any specific song pattern or
when he did the
template.
whole. Remember how last time when he released Blonde, he did that thing where with what was it, Apple?
He was tied with.
He was tied with. He was tied with who?
He was tied with. I think it was Universal.
Whoever it was, they had a two album deal with him, and then he dropped. He gave him the first one.
And it was a
Channel Orange, right? And then he gave a second one to them, which is like this weird art piece basically. And then the next day, Joss Blonde on like his own independent thing or whatever, or he went back channel and did his own thing. Did you guys ever watch that? Really, like, because I think it's like a whole video experience, right?
I don't know.
I never watched it. I never
don't have Apple Music.
Yeah, because I think it was only on Apple Music.
Whatever it was exclusively released on.
All right, so I'm looking at it right now. Frank Ocean was with Universal, and that's where that's who released Channel Orange, and then the visual album Endless came as an Apple Music video stream via Def Jam / Universal Music Group, and then. Blonde releases an Apple exclusive a day later on Ocean's own label, Boys Don't Cry.
And he's still on that, right? He's still doing that.
Yeah, he's still doing his own thing. That's why he doesn't have to follow, the corporate rules and what typically goes into a deal.
Yeah, I mean, these two singles are kind of like a tease because I want a full album. I want a full Frank album.
Yeah,
but it's the sad boy season, daylight savings, coming up.
Mercury is in
happened.
retrograde.
Mercury is in retrograde until November 20th, guys. This is not an astrological podcast, but don't make any long-term decisions until then, okay?
Don't have any arguments with loved ones. Just
be safe
isolated.
out there during the retrograde.
What does this
I just
mean?
want to warn all of
Can
you.
Watch
what does this mean?
I'm not going to fully get into it because this is not a podcast about astrology. I could do a whole separate podcast about that if that's what you guys want.
Let us know in the comments.
Hypothetically, though?
But anyway, so some other new music. Turnover just put out an album. I actually have not listened to it yet. I listened to all the singles they released, and I really liked all the singles, but, I just feel like they sound a lot like Good Nature, like a lot of the songs off of Good Nature. Not that I didn't like the Good Nature album, but I just feel like their sound has kind of become worn out. Like they just keep doing the same thing, and I would like to see them do something a little bit different and like not expected. Like I feel like all the songs they put out have just been like exactly what I expected them to be. Yeah. So I would like to see something.
How many albums do they have out now?
I
don't listen to that much.
I think they have three full length albums.
That's what I thought. The only song that I really know by Turnover is
or like this would be their fourth album that they just put out.
I'll have to listen to them more.
Because they have Magnolia, Peripheral Vision, Good Nature.
Turnover,
yeah, so
right?
this is their fourth album. And they are coming to Philly in December, which I'll probably go see them anyway because
it's Turnover.
Yeah, and they're just fun to jam to
yeah.
live. Like they put on a good show, so I'll probably go see them anyway. Nice. And what else? What other new music has come out? Harry Styles just announced that he's dropping an album. We already talked about that a little bit earlier, but
first off, we got a couple of more in my realm of music here.
Okay,
we got
go ahead, pop off, King.
Popping off here. We got a couple of things going on. First off, I mean, this is maybe more.
Yeah,
in all of
I want this to span like all genres. So
first off, this might be
everything.
in all of our realms here, but MCR getting back together.
Wow,
hello,
guys.
Wow, how have we not talked about this?
Or not just that though. Rage Against the Machine's also getting back together.
Is
System of a Down is getting.
Should I like reactivate my MySpace account?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like Rage Against the Machine, System of a Down, MCR, all getting back together. What is going on?
I mean, the Jonas Brothers got back together this year.
The Joe Bros got back together.
That's kind of older news, but like. 2019's been a long time, guys. It's 11 months.
A lot has happened.
A lot has happened. We were just talking about this.
We were just talking about this earlier.
So much has happened in 2019. It's been crazy.
A lot's changed since the beginning of 2019, man.
Yeah.
A lot has changed.
I feel like we're just living in the past. All these like bands are coming back together. But I mean, it's cool. It's cool to see like the resurgence of all these
Vampire Weekend was that this year?
Bands.
I think that was this year
they put out an album this year too.
Yeah.
Who
else?
I
was supposed to go to their show.
Wait, yeah. Somebody else just put out an album recently that was
no. You know who just announced an album?
Who?
Tame Impala.
Tame Impala, yeah.
Tame Impala, and you can get the multicolored vinyl.
They dropped a new single.
It might be time. It might be time.
Dude, I gotta listen to that.
And it's
There's a lot
decent.
of new exciting stuff coming out.
There's lots of stuff coming out, but this
If
week...
you don't think I'm dropping like an assload of money to go see Rage Against the Machine, like
Assload.
I am going to be flying to Coachella or something to go see them.
Demonetize.
Yeah, you guys have said shit and fuck earlier, but assload, that's what gets
Listen, assload is that's where we draw
Guys,
the line.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
This is for a school project, but it's fine.
What? I thought we agreed this was fine.
No, I know.
Started cursing.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, you started it. we said, is it cool?
I think it's fine. I don't think
You
it's
said,
fine.
I'm making it fine.
Professor MacArthur. Shouts out to Big Dog MacArthur.
Shout out to MacArthur.
Boss
for
man, Big Dog MacArthur. Don't call him anything else
running
because
the
that's his
capstone
name.
project
And giving
being
us stellar
the best
reviews.
artist services professor ever.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, we got some interesting stuff coming up.
Any other new releases were like
Oh, geez.
It's just a lot of
Super
stuff to
excited for?
look forward to.
Yeah.
It's been kind of a disappointing week for music releases, but lots of stuff to look forward to for music releases and or getting back-togethers. I think
Reunions.
Green Day just announced something too. I think
Them and Weezer are doing that tour. Though.
Well,
that was like kind of that was a while
ago.
That was like a month ago they announced that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about
Billy
that.
Joe Armstrong and somebody. They just
If
did
you
this
guys
interview.
don't know,
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish, yeah.
Hey.
Billy and Billy did it.
Yeah.
If the listeners don't know, some people might not know. What is it? Weezer, Green Day, and
Fall Out
Fall Out
Boy,
Boy
yeah.
announced a tour about like a
Middle school throwback
month
jams.
and a half ago, maybe. I don't know how I feel about that. It's very interesting.
I
lineup.
might spend the cash.
I mean,
I would definitely go to that.
It would still be a good show for
It's
sure.
like Blink 182 and Lil Wayne.
Is it though?
They're
don't
different genres coming together.
They're not really different genres.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, Weezer is not
Green Day,
really in the
Blink.
same realm as like Green Day, but I feel like Green Day and Fall Out Boy are more
Well,
similar.
Green Day, Weezer, and Fall Out Boy is like everybody's middle school jams playlist. So it's
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
So it's just
not,
kind of like a nostalgic thing at
Yeah.
this point. I feel like it's just like we're out of money and we need to tour to make money.
Listen,
I think
I'm all
Weezer's-
for
I
it.
think Weezer's fine because they just tore
Well,
that
yeah,
massive,
Weezer's probably
Weezer just
okay.
did a big
massive
old cover
tour.
album.
Yeah. and
Weezer
then-
also
big
has
old
like a
cover
cult
album.
following. Like their fans are dedicated.
Their fans
like,
revolted though when they did Beverly Hills because that was them selling out back in the day. I remember there was a
Yeah.
huge thing, but like since then they've come around and most people are fine with Weezer again, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm also trying to go see. There's a concert. Not that you guys care, but there's a concert and it's Slayer's the headliner, and it's like Slayer's last tour, and they have Slayer, Primus, Phil Ensemble from Pantera and the Illegals, and then this other band called Ministry. And if you're a fan of like music like that, like I am, that's gonna be insane. And so that's like for me, that's like the Weezer. Green Day, Fall Out Boy thing. Like that's my equivalent to that.
If
Like,
you have any questions about that, be sure to DM
Chad.
Charles the Miller.
at
on
Charles the Miller
Instagram?
on Instagram, yeah.
Oh, who else? Beach Bunny just put out a new song. I don't know
Oh,
if you guys
yeah.
listen to Beach Bunny, but they put out
heard about that.
they put out a new single, Dream Boy, I think it's called, and they just announced a US tour. So I'm pretty excited for that because I got into them like a lot over the summer when I was big sad. And they're
Big
good.
sad.
They're good for when you're big sad. So, yeah. So I really got into them. So I'm probably gonna go see them when they come around. And Joe and I are going to see Rex when he comes around.
So I'm interested to see how Rex is going to be in his live performance in contrast to
The
how he
last
was
time we saw
before.
him.
Yeah.
And especially being in a bigger venue.
Pine Grove also put out a new song.
Are we still talking about them?
Listen,
I mean-
What's the sentiment?
So Pine Grove had a little bit of controversy surrounding their name in terms of allegations.
Wait, that's I remember something about this.
It was
'cause
like
I
a
remember-
whole thing that didn't need to be a thing, that was a thing, and now it just kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth when I listen to them. It just I want to like them the same way that I did before all this news like came to light. And it wasn't even anything like super serious or
If you don't want to get into it right now, you don't
Yeah,
have
let's
to.
not get
but
into it,
I
just
don't
'cause
remember
I don't-
what
I'm
happened.
sorry. I'm uncultured. I don't know what's going on.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It was just basically like a misunderstanding, like of like sexual coercion, or with the lead singer, and he put out this whole statement. They like canceled their U.S. tour,
Okay.
I remember
postponed
that.
their
This is-
album.
now it's ringing
All
a bell.
this shit happened, and then they were
Somebody
like,
has tattoos
then
of
they
them.
did like a Vice article or some shit, and they were like, "We're back, like we're fine," and it just seemed a little inauthentic to me. So I'm personally not a fan of theirs anymore, I would have to say, but that's okay. You know,
Old
you grow out
Friends
of
is
stuff.
still a good song.
yeah, I still like their old music. I just feel like I can't listen to it the same way as I used to.
Yeah.
but,
Can
No,
you
I
appreciate
understand
art without liking the artist?
uh,
That's a question for
it's-
a whole nother debate.
yeah,
another podcast.
Yeah,
let's get into that on another
that.
episode. That's
That's
not
a
a bad
good-
topic.
that's a
we
good
should have
topic.
maybe talked about that on
Yeah,
this
jeez.
episode. Jeez. All right.
I mean,
well,
we were talking about it for a little bit when we were talking about Kanye and,
Yeah, yeah.
and his history.
yeah, that's like a
Why not?
whole episode.
We'll
we
save that
could
for
do,
later.
though. But anyway, so
Be sure to like and comment if you want us back on the podcast.
How about you let the host wrap it up?
Yeah.
I wasn't wrapping
Is
it
this
up. I was
my
just
show
making.
or you
I was
guys?
just
I think
making a
it's
comment.
the
do
Joe
this whole
show
thing
now. I think
yourself?
Joe's.
Okay. So anyway, if you made it
Joey
this
Bags
far,
in his bag.
Just stop.
If you made it this far, comment below. I don't know. Comment.
Just,
Retweet.
DM me. Email me.
Follow For the Record _podcast on Instagram. I'm still trying to get it distributed onto Spotify and Apple Music. Hopefully that will be done soon. It's taking a lot longer than I thought, but you
hey,
can
shout
listen
out
to
Anchor.
it through Anchor's link, which is pretty cool. It's free. It takes you right to the episode. You don't have to download the app or anything. If you like this episode, please give me some feedback. I'd love to hear what I can do to make it better, or talk about things that you guys are interested in hearing about, or bands or artists you want to hear from. Thank you, Chad and Joe, for being on this episode.
You're welcome.
It's been a real
you
pleasure.
Guys you were mediocre at best.
I think we're
Um,
A+.
I've heard that a lot. Thank you.
So I think that's how we're gonna end it. So episode 2, that's a wrap.
Wait. Can we plug ourselves?
Yeah, go ahead, plug yourself.
Go ahead, Joe.
You guys have anything to plug?
Yeah, I have lots of stuff to plug out. You
All
can
right,
find me
you
on
get one thing.
You can find me on Instagram at JoeyBagsNJ. You can find me on Twitter for some quality content at amusicalmaniac.
That's a lie, but I'll take it. Follow me, Charles the Miller, on Instagram. You can find me on all platforms as not Charles the Miller, but you can look for me, and Joe will probably be around there leaving comments. So.
Yeah, so that's episode 2, guys. Thanks for listening. Oh, and by the way,
Epstein didn't kill himself.
himself.